Hi, this is Elias with ELDA Management Services, and I'm creating a quick video to try to help and figure out how to shut off the water to your property. I know the freeze is coming, and it's really important that we make sure that you have the ability and a basic understanding how to shut off the water to your home. In most cases, most houses have a couple ways to do a shut off, and that is through one, the water meter. The water meter is the surest and the best way to do it, but it's also a little bit more difficult because you sometimes require a key to be able to do that. Now, these keys are readily available at Home Depot, Lowe's, any of the hardware stores, and they typically look like this. So it is a key that has, it's just a handle, it's kind of a long, and it's got an end on it. They're very inexpensive, but they're actually very helpful because they help us reach down a little bit deeper into the hole. So let me start by showing you the basic on how to do the water meter, and then we can move on to some of the other options that are available to us. So as you approach your home, typically your water meter is going to be between two houses. In this particular home, there are two meters that service here, okay? And it is usually in a black cover. This one I had to kind of dig out because I had been in there for quite some time. And so there should be two meters in this one serving the house on the right and one serving the house on the left. So in this particular case, we're going to shut off the one on the left. And if you notice, the meter, you can see the meter has its cover, okay, and it should be, when it's in use, the meter runs. And then you can see here, this is the shut off. Now, trying to do this by hand is very, very difficult. So I would recommend definitely using the key that I was discussing earlier, or even a wrench that will lock in place, because that's important. So you can use this type of wrench. Don't try to use a hand press, because then it's hard to pressure and do that. Those are usually better. And so typically you're going to get your meter. You can just simply going to put it on the valve itself. So basically when it's on, this little stem will be parallel with the pipe itself. You can see the pipe running from here to here. So you notice it is now across, and that will shut the water off to the main meter. And then when you want to turn it on, you basically just revert it back to making sure that is in line with the pipe itself. And it turns, and now it's on. So now the other option would be to look from the meter. It typically is somewhere near the house. There's a catty corner. Typically you have another way to shut it off. So if we walk over here to this house, we're gonna see that you have a valve, okay? You have a regular faucet, but typically below that you're gonna see a water valve that looks like this. This particular option only feeds to the inside, only shuts off the water to the inside of the house. Anything prior to this, typically like the sprinkler systems or any exposed pipe like that, typically will not be shut off. So this is important that you ever learn how to do that. The same thing happens here. When it gets shut off like that, so it's perpendicular to the pipe. And then the last thing you want to do, you want to open the valve, let the water drain from inside the house, and that way you do not have any water left in the pipe. Once that stops running, then basically you know that your pipes are empty and that you have a good shut off. If it doesn't stop, it means that the water is still being fed to the house, which is a concern, because then you won't achieve what you're wanting to achieve. Once it's finished, you should see no more water running out of there, and now this house is secured. Now lastly, the other thing you want to take a look at is the sprinkler system, right? If you have a sprinkler system in your house, you're going to see something similar to this. This is the backflow unit. This is one of the very first things that always bursts when the water's not shut off. So the way to protect this, again, is making sure that the pipe is wrapped, right? You want to protect the pipes. Here you can see it's already exposed, so it's going to need to be wrapped, right? We don't want the pipe to be exposed at all. Now the other way to shut off the water to this is, again, there's two valves, one coming in from the main and one coming in, that one feeding back into the sprinkler systems. You want both of these to be shut off. The way it is actually off now. If it was to be this way, you can see it runs water, right? So we want to make sure it's off so there's no water in here to create, no water in there to create any kind of freezing, and then these tops tend to explode and then we have to replace the whole thing. That's an expense. Let's make sure we shut these off so that way there's no problem later with these units freezing. Now, if you shut off only from the house shut off like we did over here, that means there's probably still water in this unit, which you'll have to shut off separately. If you shut off the water from the main meter line, then you won't have to worry about having any water here. So again, the safest way is to shut off right at the meter. I hope that these tips are helpful. This is the easiest way to protect from a freeze, is to shut off the water when the water is still. If there's no moving water, then it runs a higher risk of the lines freezing, and that's when you have a problem. So you know that if you're going to go at nighttime, you're not going to have a lot of water usage. That's usually the coldest and the time when the pipes will probably freeze. So before you go to bed, shut off the water, drain the lines. You can always use the toilet at least one time because the tank still stays full, so you don't have to worry about the toilet, utilizing the toilet when you have water shut off. Now, after the second time, it won't refill, so then you will have to, again, turn it on and get the toilet tank filled up again before it will function. I hope this is helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and we will try to produce more videos like this that are helpful. Thank you.